hello. Welcome to this video. My name is Björn. I'm co-CEO at Resolution, and today I'm together here with Hendrik from Warsaw Dynamics, and they are a NASA customer, and I'm really looking forward to understand a little bit more how they use our app and what their experience is so far. Hi Hendrik, how are you?
Hey Björn, thanks for letting me be here and having that session with you. Well, my name is Hendrik. I'm working with Warsaw Dynamics as a marketing guy, we call it, and I'm a consultant, project manager, Scrum Master for more than 10 years. So I know the Jira system from both sides. I know the Atlassian system from both sides. And yeah, I'm really stoked to have a chat with you today.
Cool, perfect. How long you are already in the Atlassian ecosystem?
Good question. It's just 2 years. So actually, I was using Atlassian tools my whole career, basically. But I just discovered sideways that there's a community. And shout out to Fun Man Andy, my good old buddy, who brought me into this whole thing. And yeah, thanks for being part of this amazing community. I'm really stoked on this. And yeah, we just met in Barcelona. I think it's a great tool with a fantastic community, and it's really good.
Perfect, cool. So before we start, you explained in our preparation that NASA works so great for you that you moved from daily stand-up meetings already to weekly because you don't need it on a daily basis anymore. Is it true?
Yeah, Björn, I'm happy that you asked. And it's basically, so every aspect, like revenue 10 times, my marriage better than ever before, and I don't want to get into details, and this is obviously a joke. No, it's a fantastic tool, and yeah, we will drill into all the details where it's really helpful. It's a fantastic tool, and I think you introduced me to it when we met in Krakow about a year ago. I think that's when you launched it, and a fantastic marketing stunt. I loved it. And yeah, we've been a user ever since then, starting with daily stand-ups. And then, well, not exactly because of the tool, more because of organizational changes and the team grew. We moved to weekly stand-ups, and the tool works for both.
Okay, cool. I mean, yeah, it was obviously a joke, but I hope to understand a little bit more the effects, what you have for the usage of the tool. Cool. So Warsaw Dynamics, you mentioned already you're using also Jira, Confluence, and Atlassian tools for a while now. You are since 2 years in the ecosystem. So what is Warsaw Dynamics doing, and what you are doing?
Well, Warsaw Dynamics is a Platinum marketplace vendor. We have a few really incredible apps that help bring people together and collaborate more easily. The one that I like to highlight is External Share, which enables you to share content from Confluence and Jira with users outside of your instance with basically just a mouse click. I don't want to hijack this meeting here, but it's a great tool. If you have any question, get in touch with me. You can find me on LinkedIn. My name is Hendrik. Maybe you can put that somewhere in the description as well. And I will put you in touch. I can run a demo with you. I'll put you in touch with someone on our end. So thanks for letting me plug that in here. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we are also a user of your tool, and I use it not every day, but definitely multiple times per week.
Let me just say that much. If you're an Atlassian user, you will need external share. It's not an if, it's a when. And I'm not exaggerating, talking as someone that is using Atlassian for more than 10 years. It needs to be in your toolbox. Simple as that.
Okay, cool. So you said you're working in marketing guy, so you you introduced yourself as the marketing guy. So how's Warsaw Dynamics structured from a team perspective? So I assume you have a marketing team, then maybe development, probably.
Yeah, we're actually one of those companies where we marketing guys are like the exception, and we are really developer heavy team. Most of the team is based in Poland, mainly around Warsaw, but it's all remote. And I'm the German guy that sits in Lisbon. But it doesn't really matter because we do not have a head office or anything like that. We just work completely remote only. So that's kind of the company setup. Yeah, and I think we're 97% developers and 3% marketing and sales.
I mean, it's a good share, so it means that your tool's getting a lot of updates and so on. Cool. So what were your challenges before you started to work with the NASA tool? So, I mean, you mentioned already, I introduced it to you a year ago in Krakow. It was, I think, Divinity Jira Day. It was also where we launched it there, but it was still in a super early phase. So what were your challenges that you said, okay, I give it a try?
Well, as a facilitator that runs team meetings, stand-ups, whatever, there's always, especially with this remote structure, there's always a challenge. How do you bring people together and how do you actually discuss what you want to discuss without somebody hijacking the meeting and really kind of, there's a point where sometimes you just have to work through some work items and see what the status is. So there's really hard factual stuff. And this tool really helps to keep track of that and kind of being like the third party that is taking care of that ugly job of saying like, okay, hold on, this is what we're working on. And beside that, that's from one perspective. From the other perspective, what makes it so easy to use the tool, and that's kind of where I think that's kind of more the selling point, is it's so easy to update your tickets and to update. Everybody hates writing a report. Everyone hates giving an update to a management, a project sponsor, etc., management board, and whatever. With another tool, it's so easy to just hack in and we will dive into it later. And for people that don't know, I think you're more than happy to give a demo. But it's you work with your Jira items, you add them to your update. If you want to, you can update the ticket while you write the report and kind of publish it with one button click. And you prepared the meeting and already updated your ticket. So it's as convenient as something like that can get, and I think nobody likes writing updates and giving reports and all of that. So I think it's like the least pain you can have with such a procedure, and that makes it easy to motivate the team to use it rather than say, okay, this is the tool you have to use now. It's like try it, and then it's kind of bottom-up approach.
Yeah. That's nice that you're mentioning it, because that was one of the ideas. I mean, the app is structured in these three phases. So phase one, preparation of the meeting, then the live meeting, and then the documentation of the meeting. And especially in the preparation, where we said from the idea, okay, a preparation for a stand-up meeting shouldn't take 15 minutes. And we have also the problem that very often issues are not up to date or they are not existing and so on. We exactly tried to solve this. And I'm also more in the category of being one of the worst Jira users as being a best practice. And this helped me really a lot to keep my Jira up to date, to have comments on my tickets, have proper description on my tickets, and not handling it in parallel on some post-its or notes or whatever. No, really cool. I like that you like it. Perfect. So when you started with a usage and especially also the onboarding of the tool, I mean, our experience, our feedback from customers is it's somehow hard to find the starting point, because it means somebody need to say to some other person, our meetings, how we do it at the moment is crap, let's optimize it. And that's a hard step. So how was your onboarding experience with NASA? How have you organized it in Warsaw Dynamics?
So I think there's two sides to that answer. For us, it was actually quite straightforward, because we're all kind of, as Atlassian users, we always like to play around with new tools, and that kind of was like, hey, Björn showed this new tool, let's play around with it and see if we can break it. This kind of approach, you know. But on a more, like, if I put my corporate hat on, and I would think like, okay, on a bigger delivery team, how you would implement that is really coming from a user perspective. And like we just talked about, it's making your life easier for something that you probably have to do anyway. That's one thing from a user perspective to kind of enable adoption. On the other hand, it also helps to stay on top of things and makes reporting super easy. So I think from that tool perspective, it's really helpful, and it makes it easy to onboard the tool to another app.
So you mentioned the user. Do you see, or I assume you're also the Scrum Master or the facilitator of your marketing meeting. So do you see different benefits or different experiences in the onboarding? So I mean, user perspective, fine, it makes things easier what I need to do. But for you as a role as a meeting facilitator, was there something where you say, yeah, that helped me a lot?
Like to implement a tool, like that was in our case, it was fairly straightforward. If you want to dive more into the usage of the tool, I definitely have a few things to share there. I'm not sure if you want to talk about that later.
For sure. No, we can do it now for sure. It fits well.
So because it was quite easy, we installed the tool. It was straightforward, like you would do with any app on Jira. And once you having the tool and due to the mechanics of the NASA app, I think it makes the meetings more fair. As we all know, there are the people on the team that are more extrovert and they can talk half an hour easily without any script, and then there are the people, the hard workers in the background that hardly say 2 sentences, but they have something to share as well. And due to the format of the tool, it enables a fair airtime for everyone. And we talked about how that could actually be improved, but the direction is perfect and it gives everyone the same share of the meeting in theory, which is great. And it's also based on, for those people that are not like, free talking doesn't come easily to them, they have this rail of the tickets. They had prepared the update already. For those ones that like to be prepared and be in the detail, it's a great tool and gives them the security to talk in the meeting and really talk through what they're working. And it kind of also shows on a team like who's doing the hard work, who does other things, because you show the back, you can show all the tickets, you see all the tickets that are there, and especially the silent hard workers, they can actually for once say, okay, this is what I've been working on, right? So I think it's a great tool and makes meetings more fair and, well, also a little bit more efficient, I guess.
That's nice, because I mean, yes, user timer and so on, we implemented it mainly because when I joined stand-up meetings, it was easily 40 minutes long, what you described. So one person is talking 30 minutes. That was normally me. And I bored then 5 people to death. And but the fairness aspect is an interesting aspect, what I haven't had in my mind so far. And it makes totally sense. Because when you have more introverts in the team, extroverts normally cover them in meetings, and that's an interesting point. I like it. Cool. Do you have any challenges in the onboarding or in the usage? I mean, there are always the good parts and the benefits and so on, but there are also hurdles or challenges. So,
well, it's in general not any major issues. I think there was a little hiccup when we couldn't access the app for a couple of hours or days, but that was not the fault of the app, but it was more like a server side issue. But other than that, the tool, I think, shines through its simplicity, and I mean that in the best sense. The tool itself, no issues. As anyone that ever facilitated or run a regular meeting will know, it's also obviously there's a huge human element in this, and to get engagement on the meetings, like people to show up on the meeting and then report on the meeting and stay on the subject and all of that good stuff. That's something that the tool can't solve, and that's something, well, it's a different story, or a story that's linked to it, but it's like the environment you operate the tool in. But with the tool itself, no, a few technical hiccups, but no major issues.
So means, would you say, you mentioned a little bit on the benefits also for you as a Scrum Master, it gives, or not a Scrum Master, as a meeting facilitator. I was
just going to say, I'm not a Scrum Master. I'm not even in theory or practice as a Scrum Master, but let's call it a facilitator. I think that makes the most sense.
Yeah. So, I mean, you said it somehow that it gives you transparency. So means also people give more transparency potentially. Do you see there a change in the team, or was it for some more hard learning, or was it easy that they said, no, my stand-up is now much better prepared, but it also means that everybody is aware what I'm doing?
Well, I cannot speak for our team because we're also very agile in our team. So within this 1 year, we're using the tool. We had quite a few team changes itself. The team grew a lot, and like I said, we went from a daily to a weekly meeting. I personally, I'm a huge fan of daily stand-ups, but that's a different topic. It makes things a little bit more painful, but if you really want to deliver something, it's great. But yeah, so you have a lot of changes, but they were not really related to the tool. The only thing is really, I think we had a few like light bulb moments where like people once they understood the tool, and I think it's fairly straightforward. So for somebody technically savvy using Atlassian systems, it's not, you don't have to have like a 3 months training to use the tool. It's usually like, oh, you click here, you click there, and you're done. But like the principle, once people got that, it's like, oh, that's cool. So it's that easy to write my update. Oh, that's great. I think we had a few of those moments. And then during the meetings, it's always like, for us, it's always fun. There's always the people that have their their update prepared, and their icon already shows in the top in the header. And once they're like, oh, I forgot, and let me do it while I'm doing the meeting. And maybe that one person's like, oh, I didn't manage to do it. I'll do it another time, kind of thing. So yeah, you have all of that, but it's great because it's visualized on the screen, and you don't have to. It's minimal effort, right? If you have you can obviously do this with all other kind of fancy tools, but it's the sweet spot is the efficiency. You don't have to do much extra work in your busy day. It's like it makes life much more easier in that regard. And that sounds like I'm bored, but this is not a paid promo. I'm just reporting as a user. It's really what we experience.
Yeah. It's cool. It also means you found the a little bit hidden features that late joiners can still do their update when the meeting is already running.
Yeah, there are always people that do their homework in the lesson. So whatever works.
It was my requirement. So I also need to do it when the meeting already starts. So, but yeah, then in general.
Talking about hidden features, what you shared with me is that you can actually influence the order of the people doing their updates. So Björn, if you on the team, you're probably always the first one to report. No, you're probably the last one in the queue.
Yeah. No, I'm the first one. Yeah. So I need to have my update prepared.
Yeah, that's actually a nice hidden feature, and I just recently learned about it because it was always a big question, like who's determining the order of the reports, and it's actually the facilitator or the admin has all the power over that.
Yeah. Cool. So the app has a couple of features and so on, and you mentioned also it's important to have somehow, or the app is a tool, it helps you with the structure to facilitate the meeting, etc. Do you see a role of solution partners in supporting organizations, bigger organizations, in adopting tools like this, and also having maybe as a trigger or a starting point anyway the thoughts about meetings? Because my experience so far is that a lot of organizations simple accepting that they have bad meetings and that bad meetings lead to more meetings. So it's not the case that a lot of organizations searching every day for a way, how can I do my meeting better or whatever. Do you see a solution partner role here for these application or general for the whole topic meeting improvement?
A clear yes. And I think one of the critical factors in every product, whatever you want to call it, is always communication. You can never communicate enough, but it's also the quality of communication can always be improved. And I think that this tool is actually super beneficial for that. And yeah, there's this old saying, a fool with this tool is still a fool. And that's kind of true to this one as well. Even the best tool, if you use it the wrong way or you have it in the wrong environment, it doesn't really help you. That being said, as a consultant and from a consultancy perspective, I can totally see how you build, I don't want to call it a methodology around it, but definitely some good practices around it. And I think actually it would be beneficial to make the tool part of a bigger concept to help people facilitate that. I think there's this, like with every meeting, some people feel comfortable to run a meeting, some people rather like to be a participant, and that's perfectly fine. But I think there's also some hard skills to be learned there. And if you link them back to the tool and make that one unit, I think then you have something really tangible for people to say, okay, this is our package, how we run our meetings, and we make them fun. And there's some fun elements in the tool as well to make them fun and efficient and make your life easier. I mean, like, come on, that's awesome. And so I think absolutely. Actually, my first feedback or my first thought when I saw the tool was like, okay, is there any package around it? Is there any methodology, any approach around it to make it more efficient?
Cool. Yeah, I mean, you know that I'm working on a concept for this because that's.
I did.
Yeah. So, but that's definitely something for another video. But we see the same. So it's and the feedback from especially the users, first customers, and so on is yes. Okay, now I have the tool, but it would be great to get some guidance on the way for improving my agile ceremonies or my team meetings or my weeklies or whatever. And we did a lot of interviews with classic customer organizations, but also with organizations which are working like you in the Atlassian ecosystem or general and agile topics. And one interesting aspect was that a lot of organizations fail in their agile strategy or implementing agile structures because of bad ceremonies. So that is a huge failure point. And that's a little bit the idea, the vision, what we have with the NASA app, but also with all the stuff which is created around. Interesting.
Well, don't get me started on Agile and how it's implemented, because that's a completely different rabbit hole to dive into. But yeah, I think that's kind of, if you link in on that, and I think most teams already probably have an approach, or if you're working with some consultancies and solution providers that probably already have something. So it's maybe also a matter of customizing it and make it really part of that process and kind of plug it into what's already there.
Yeah, totally. When you need to name one feature which has the most, or which was most beneficial for your team, which one is it?
Well, I think there are two, and one is like we talked about it already. It's like the efficiency and straightforwardness, if that's a word at all, of updating your report, preparing your report, and if you tick the box already updating your ticket, it's like that's like the biggest benefit. And in regards to the meeting itself. I'm a big fan of the timer, because it's that mean little clock ticking, and it's nobody's fault that the time is running. It's not like the facilitator say it's like, oh, come on, you're already overtime. It's like that mean little clock ticking there. And it's good because it puts it to a third party, but it also helps like at least give some guidance to the meeting. So I'm a huge fan of that. But in the more like overall, the NASA app has like this big benefit of bringing people together and make those meetings more fair.
Cool. Okay, that's first of all, I see that you work in sales and marketing, and when you ask for one, you get definitely more as one. I have the same sickness. No, but it's really cool. I like the fairness point. I never thought about this. That's
Isn't that the great thing about software or anything, any product that you do? You create something with something in mind, and then when people start to use it, they come up with two totally different things. I think that's part of the adoption curve already. So yeah, that's great. I think that's a great feedback also for you.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for this. That's really cool. So what is let's come a little bit to the impact on your team. We talked now about NASA, the features and so on, and how you use it. When you need to summarize the impact, what are the effects now in Warsaw Dynamics for using the tool nearly a year now in different ways, in stand-ups and in weeklies? What are the effects?
Well, I think we have really, it helps us to structure the meeting and really have a meeting format, because nobody writes minutes or writes an agenda for a meeting. I always hated it in my consultancy career, and I hate putting an agenda there because it never works. And with that tool, you have an automatic agenda already on that meeting, and nobody needs to discuss it. It's there, you prepare it, and it's kind of coming out of the box, and it's already there. So we have that. The way we configured it is we have half an hour reserved for that meeting, and everyone has a default airtime of 5 minutes. So that means we have that daily weekly meeting is always around an hour, and that first half of that meeting always has the same structure, and we always start on the same point. And I think we're starting to get really disciplined with okay, let's stay on this. And again, the clock helps to stay on the topic, and then say okay, let's talk about this afterwards, or let's put it to the second half of the meeting and stuff like that. So I think it's great. I see definitely, it's basically, just to give a bit of background, we're using NASAP since the beginning, because I joined Warsaw Dynamics about a year ago. The Jira days were kind of the first event where Warsaw Dynamics came out of the shadow of Old Street Solutions. So we never been without NASAP. So I cannot even say what is the improvement. We're kind of the we used it and we stuck with it, and I mean that in the best possible sense. But yeah, so and I wouldn't want to miss it. It's really a great tool to help you give structure to the meetings, especially for lazy people like myself that don't like to write an agenda and like to write minutes and all of that. So it's there, you use it, and it gives you good results, and I like that.
Yeah, that's nice feedback. I mean, we developed the app. Our story was going to a 4-day work week, and we need to find ways to improve our meeting culture, but also the culture how we work in our classic workflows. And one interesting effect is, it has a ton of effects, but which outstanding effect is, and you also said it already, that people starting also with the self-improvement somehow. They realize, okay, no, let me explain it different. When we implemented NASA, I had one colleague in my team, he added 20 tickets on the first day to it and said, okay, that's what I want to achieve today. And then the next morning, in the stand-up meeting, there was 4 tickets solved, perfect, fine, 16 open. So, and in the preparation, he realized by themselves, shit, I failed. And started to optimize and think about more, how much can I achieve today? And also thinking about, okay, what is my day structure today? I have 3 meetings, means half of the day is anyway away. So I have the rest of the day for work, and then I need to pick up the kids or whatever. So it helped a lot that people structure their day, and the long-term effect on our side was these better daily planning had a positive effect on our sprint planning and on our outcomes. And that's a super interesting point. Cool. So, I mean, we are running super fast in the Christmas direction. So when you would have some things on your wish list for the NASA app, what would be on your wish list?
This time you only get two wishes. And one
easy for Santa Claus.
A big one. I start with a big one. And I think I talked about the timer already, and maybe I'm the only one that likes it, but I think this one could be, I think currently the way the app is working, if you have even not a long list of items, and you need to scroll, so you do a Zoom meeting, you share the screen, and you scroll to what will be done next week, the timer will disappear. And if you want to bring back the timer as a facilitator, you have to scroll down again, and people get confused, like, oh, why is my ticket, blah, blah, blah. So it would be good to have this timer omnipresent and make it really visual and actually maybe even fun or engaging in a certain way, because there is this time element to that meeting. And I think it would help to talk about that fairness effect again, to give everyone the same amount of airtime. And for those extroverts that like to hear themselves talk for 30 minutes, they have like this instance telling them, like, so in a nutshell, make that timer more present and omnipresent. That's one thing. And the other thing is, but that's a little bit more down to personal taste, I think the selection dialogue on when you prepare the tickets could be, in my personal view, could be optimized in the sense of that you currently have a whole bunch of tickets there already. Some are useful, but even some tickets that you're working on might not be there, and you have to search for them. So I don't know how exactly it could be better, but my gut feeling, like my spoiled user head is telling me, oh, it should be more convenient. Maybe an AI assistant that you say, show me the last most important tickets or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, the AI assistant, we have already a Robo integration, but this Robo agents doesn't help with the preparation. It's more for summarizing multiple stand-up meetings. But to your first wish, I see already the face of the developer when I came up with the idea, hey, let's have a loading bar, which looks like from the Halo 2 game for the timer or something like that.
If you need feedback for alpha and beta tester, I'm there. And Björn, actually, now that I think about it, I have a third fun wish here as well. And that is one feature that I think nobody's using except for me, is like the emoji feedback. Like, how do you feel today? I think it's a great summary, and even for people that don't give an update, it's great. Like, I think it's that could be actually be more visible, because I think a lot of people don't even realize it's there. But I think it's a very useful tool to have some emojis or maybe even GIFs or something, just to kind of like the spirit, to get a sense of the spirit of the team. Like if you have a Scrum delivery team and they're really pushing hard, it's good to get like a feedback on the sentiment of the team. So that's not applicable to us because we're always happy and we just have fun. But I'm just kidding. But I think I've worked with the delivery teams that are really sweating, and I think it's like for a Scrum Master or for a manager, it's a good feedback to see like, okay, maybe they're not feeling that good. Maybe it's time to go out for a beer or something like that. I don't know. But I think that is another feature that could really enhance, like to really summarize on a more soft level, like how's my team doing?
It's a really good feedback. We have it already in the backlog because we also realized that the mood selector, it's on the top, but for some reasons it feels hidden to the user. So you're not the first person who's mentioning it. But also our selection of the emojis could be improved, because you can't really good select an emoji which says I'm stressed. So it's just from smiley till crying. So means what we
some memes.
Yeah.
I mean,
I need to think about it.
To sell the app then on a more corporate level, but whatever. I think it's like the intention behind it is great, and even if you just keep the emojis but make it more visible, because I think it's currently not obvious for everyone that there is actually this feature.
Yeah, cool. No, thanks for this feedback. Do you have 2 minutes more and I simply show you our release, which is coming next week? And I think we're recording now, it's a Thursday, so maybe the video is parallel finished to the release. So, and I know that there are some things also on your list which we have already solved. So, can you see the screen?
Yep.
Perfect. Okay. I'm starting with a complete new meeting type. It's called team meeting. So besides stand-up, we will go with the NASA app in the direction that you can also do other meeting types, and they have a different nature. So they are more running from topic to topic instead of running from person to person. So means what we allow from hopefully next week on is that meeting facilitators can enable the team meeting. They can have their agenda points. I learned you are not the big fan of preparing agenda, but you just need to do it once. Then you can do.
I understand the necessity of it, but I'm especially for a team that like Warsaw Dynamics. I don't think it's, at least at this stage, applicable, but I know there's a world out there that needs agenda, so it's good to have.
Cool. Then there will be a couple of other additional things. So I know that you also wished for something like this, that you can sort items in the future via drag and drop.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. I forgot about that. I think I mentioned that to you sometime before, because even though you run through all the items, there's still like the ones that are on top or first or last definitely get more visibility. So I think it's great to have that option to push them around like drag and drop.
Exactly. So this, we had it also as an internal wish. So this will be in it. In these team meetings, you also get a preview of what your colleagues have already prepared. So the idea is more for really a project update, that not people mention the same stuff and so on. So you get a little bit the sneak preview on it. There are a couple of other things. I just focus on the super important stuff here. Here is your mood selector, what you mentioned, which is a little bit hidden. You can also move it then to other questions or other projects. So when you realized, I put it in the wrong agenda item. And when you then go to live meetings, we have a complete new structure here. So we still have the stand-up structure available, and we strongly believe that the stand-up structure need to be light built, and you need to have less disrupted or distracting things. But for the team meetings, we have really here agenda topic in parallel. You can create new items in the meeting when you want to do more a brainstorming session or a planning session like a sprint planning and so on. So you can create search issues directly here. It has also a little bit different functionalities in how the stuff behave. In the future, it will be also a feature that you can drag and drop a question to another agenda point. So you're getting a little bit the idea. We are open up a complete new world for more meetings. Our goal is to start with all the classic Agile ceremony meetings like sprint plannings, retro meetings, sprint reviews, and so on, and helping with our tool also here to have better meetings. And in addition, and this is more what will come 1 month later, will be additional data sources like Confluence and
really?
Bitbucket. But yeah, so we will also add this. But I heard already from a lot of, I'm traveling a lot at the moment, a lot of customers said to me, and also partners, don't go for Bitbucket, make GitHub first. So I still need to discuss it with the developers. But yeah, there will be a lot more new stuff, including meeting templates and so on. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to your feedback there as well.
That's awesome. What I'm thinking is, but if I got that correctly, there are two types of meetings. You keep the stand-up, which is fairly straightforward, the current structure, because it's awesome the way it is. And then you have another type of meeting that enables like all the other meeting criteria. Like you said, you can have a proper agenda, you can have a workshop kind of situation and all that. That's awesome. I think actually I would be tempted to try that other meeting format with because we don't have daily stand-ups, we have weekly stand-ups. So
yeah,
I would be, when did you say when it's available?
the plan is Wednesday next week. You know how it is with plans, so I give you a ping when the plan works.
Yeah, on the other hand, I think I really love the simplicity, and it's a bonus in that sense of the tool. Yeah, you know, never change a running system, but in this case, I think we're tempted to try. But there's definitely improvement, and yeah, I love how you put so much passion into a topic that is everyone takes for granted, like okay, it's a meeting, but really to tackle that subject is a very brave of you guys.
Okay. Oh, cool. Then we can end the meeting with the last question to you. What Shopify mentioned last year in a blog article what their meeting costs are per meeting for a 30-minute meeting without leadership in it, 3 attendees. What is your guess how much a meeting costs?
Half an hour? Sorry, what did you say? 30 minutes?
30 minutes, 3 attendees on average.
Well, I used to be a Shopify customer for quite some time, and they're kind of, in the end, they're quite expensive.
So must be expensive meetings.
Yeah, I don't know, 1.5K, 1K?
Yeah, not bad. They said $700 to $1,300 is their cost for 30-minute meeting. Yeah, so these guys definitely should spend their time wise on it.
Yeah, and that is it just the time on the meeting, or is it including preparation? Because if you have a good meeting, it always takes prep and deep-prep. So if you put all of that, I'm not sure if that's in that figure already, but the half an hour for the participants. And that's where your tool comes in. It kind of streamlines that process. And for teams that are not as big as Shopify, where money is flowing freely and everyone has to do 20 tasks, I think that's where this tool really shines, because it makes it super straightforward to stay organized there.
Perfect. Cool. Hendrik, it was my pleasure to have really these 40 minutes with you. Thanks a lot for the input, for the feedback. I like that you like the tool. I noted your wishes for Santa Claus, and we'll discuss it definitely with the developers. And yeah, then I'm looking forward to your feedback on our new team meeting functionality, which will come soon. And I think we see us in person then in Lisbon to Web Summit.
Well, I will be there, and I look forward to meet you and show you around a little bit in Lisbon, and also check out the Web Summit. It's a huge event, and I think we will have a blast. Thanks, Björn, for having me here, and let me give you feedback on another app. It's a great tool, and keep going.
Perfect. Thanks a lot. Have a great one.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye.